Yeah. Pro Fan Sports Podcast. Let's get it. Pro fans, tune into the program. Every single week, get the dope, fam. John on the mic, very flat too. Keep you updated, that's what we do. Pro fans, tune into the program. Pro fans, tune into the program. Pro fans, tune into the program. Every single week, get the dope, fam.
Yo, what do everybody? It's your boy John Altidor with Pro Fan Sports Podcast. Back at you with another one with my boys Vlad and Barry, and today back on the show, man. Thankfully, we got Patriots, super fans, sports media hosts, and all kinds of other stuff you got going on out there, man. Fitzy, welcome back to the show. Appreciate you.
It's great to get back on here, guys. I didn't think I would be able to coordinate affairs and return to the podcast. I'm also, so it's a thrill to be back with you guys this season. I'm also super excited to be tonight's contestant on So You Think You Can Call Plays for the New England Patriots. I'm ready for my interview. Let's go.
Well,
yeah,
I think
man.
would do a better job than Matt Patricia.
I mean, honestly, at this point, like, straight facts, real talk only. Like, let's just get right down to it. Like, who among us? I can tell you for a fact, I can draw up a play where a wide receiver is not open 2 seconds longer after the quarterback was ready to throw the pass. I can make sure that you throw 80% of your passes 7 yards or less from the line of scrimmage, with the majority of them coming behind the line of scrimmage. I can do plenty of things to piss off Nelson Agholor, Kendrick Bourne, Ramondre Stevenson, and Mac Jones. So as far as I'm concerned, I am as qualified to call plays for the Patriots as anyone else. That said, wow, is this offense depressing. Wow.
Damn right. There is.
I mean, it's so depressing. I'm hearing that the NFL would prefer Daniel Jones or Taylor Heineke over Mac Jones and Bill Belichick. In primetime?
You have a matchup between like Master versus Apprentice Part 2 when we last saw them in 2009 for that Sunday 4 o'clock Patriots Broncos Mile High dick punch that we received back then at the hands of McDaniels. He gets booted a year later. Now they're going to rematch late in the season when people are thinking this is going to be for division crowns or perhaps a wild card berth, significant AFC standings in the balance. And instead, the NFL and NBC have decided that they would rather see the Commanders and the Giants tie each other on Sunday Night Football. Like, absolutely just what a brutal assessment of the state of affairs and the woe be us-ism that is the Patriots offense these days. Truly.
Yeah, man. I mean, shit. We've all been watching the Patriots, 15, 20 years now, at least for us anyway. Fitzy, you probably 40. Even longer.
I've been watching them over 40 years, John. Yeah, man, my whole life.
I've been watching them since 2000. So, 22 years. So we've never seen anything like that, even, the Bledsoe years, because this is worse than when Cam Newton was here. Well, what do you make of that?
Well, statistically, this offense is actually worse than the Cam Newton offense. You could get all next gen with your stats and, well, the EPA on this play and the expected yards to gain and the receiver open ability. Like, I don't care about any of that. Just look at what that offense was compared to what this offense is. And at least you had the threat of Cam Newton running every now and again, or God forbid when he didn't skip the ball to Damiere Byrd, completing an intermediate pass to Jacoby Myers, because no one defended the pass game for that Patriots team because no one was afraid of it. And Mac Jones did have one good passing game against the Vikings this season, but I also had such fewer expectations for the Cam Newton Patriots. And I think that's what frustrates me about this iteration of the Patriots offense versus the Cam Newton offense versus any other year Belichick coached the team when Tom Brady was there versus even teams that struggled in the 1990s, hell, back in the 1980s when you're dealing with like Tony Eason at quarterback. The early 90s before Bledsoe with Tommy Hodson and Scott Seacules and all those other suckbags. Like, there's no reason that a team that had a top 10 offense last year and improved their personnel and should have another year together and spent all the time that they did practicing, running routes, scheming up things, basically all the work you saw Mac Jones putting in L, like he improved his body, he improved his arm. He was in LA with all of them. He had those private workouts in Tampa for days on end. And the net sum of all of this is to have an offense that any of our hometown high school football teams could mimic or replicate any given Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Like it almost feels like a joke. Like at the end of the season, if Matt Patricia and Bill Belichick like took off their hats or like pulled off their masks and it was like something Scooby-Doo and they revealed themselves to be like operatives for like the NFL offices or the Jets or the Dolphins, then at least I'd be like, curses, those sons of bitches, they got the best of us. They would have gotten away for it if it wasn't for us rascally Pats. Like, it's so bad. I was there last Thursday. And like fans are so frustrated. They don't even want to bother chanting Zappy or anything anymore. They're all just like, whatever. Just get me to Christmas. This sucks.
Can we get them to chant fire Patricia? Because I don't know about the Zappy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Bailey Zappi's not going to do much more for you because, I mean, if he doesn't have any time, it all starts in the trenches, right? Like, if you don't, that's where the games are won in the National Football League. I mean, if you don't have any time to throw, if no one's going to open a hole for you, where are you going to go? Like Ramondre Stevenson, you can make all the comps to like early Le'Veon Bell with a dash of Marshawn Lynch and whatever other recent running back comp you want to make. Fact of the matter is, no matter how talented he is, no matter how great his strength, his cutback ability, or his lateral juke ability is, he's not going anywhere if they can't open a hole for him. Mac Jones is not going to complete a pass if everything is thrown off his back foot or his ass. And then the passes that he's throwing, everything is like, just like, it's like, it makes the dink and dunk offense of recent years that people criticize so often of Josh McDaniels and the Patriots look like the greatest show on turf. It does.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it looks like Mac, got pretty frustrated, which I appreciate that he got, frustrated, because, I mean, it's just like the offense is just not doing anything and the play calling is just so bad. But go ahead, Vlad.
Where do we go from here? I mean, we got Matt Patricia that's just not qualified to really call the offense, and all year it's just been terrible. And I know there's talk about maybe Bill O'Brien coming back to the NFL. Do we go to Bill O'Brien? Do you see Bill Belichick doing that?
I would be shocked. I mean, it's gotten so bad, Vlad, that how bad has it gotten, Fitzy? Well, Vlad, thanks for asking. It's gotten so bad that now you've got people like National Football Voices who are only running these opinions and thoughts by people in their weekly football columns. Peter King's weekly football column is a Goliath. It's like a Charles Dickens novel. Saying that if things continue trending in this downward direction, he wouldn't be surprised if Robert Kraft makes lump, wholesale, or like large stock changes in coaching. Like he's not coming out and saying like, Bill, better make sure that direct deposit goes through. But at the same time, like, he may force the coach to make significant changes or even more. Belichick was interviewed this morning on the radio on WEEI, and he went out of his way to say, like, it's too late in the season to make drastic changes to the offensive play calling structure. So they're just it is what it is, blah, 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 all the quintessentially Belichickian cliches. We got to go with the guys we're here with. We're going to have to win with who we got. We just have to do everything better. But there gets to a point where as fans who work in the media of any capacity, the diehards, the 45, 60-year season ticket holders who go out of their way to spend thousands of dollars. We're talking about the parking, the tickets, the meals, the tailgates, the sous vide, the whole schmear and shebang, right? They're all going to say, like, I understand we were treated to a standard of excellence, to a dynasty, a double dynastic run that may never be repeated in the NFL, if not pro sports in America, 21st century. But I do pay an awful lot of money to see something better than this. And the whole world, Vlad, in the offseason. I mean, everyone save for a few people inside the inner fob circle, friend of Belichick circle, said, wait a second. Bill, Patricia wasn't exactly the greatest head coach, and his DC resume isn't something I would necessarily post on LinkedIn either. Why are you giving him the keys to Mac Jones in the offense year 2? When McDaniels left, everything about this screamed, make sure you get a studied and learned offensive mind in the building ASAP to continue the upward growth trajectory that McDaniels was building in that young, beautiful, very, as you pointed out earlier, John, feisty football mind of Mac Jones. And instead, they brought in, America's favorite football rocket surgeon who just delivers a word salad at every press conference or on the sideline, taking 2 + 2 = 4 and making it look like Boolean math or calculus or like the quadratic equation. Like, it doesn't make sense. So, yes, there will be someone else in the building next year. Maybe it would be as simple as bringing back Bill O'Brien, which would seem an obvious choice. So he leaves Alabama, comes back, shines up his resume real nice by having a successful year or 2 with the Patriots, then gets another head coaching job in the NFL. And then they groom someone underneath him. But to just hand the job over to someone like Matt Patricia, it's the classic, hey, John, you work reception at the dentist's office, right? Yep. Well, you've been around teeth. Would you like to perform this root canal? Why not? Hey, I mean, no, don't. That's the worst part.
Of course.
Right? If honestly, if Barry knows how to change oil, it doesn't mean Barry knows how to fix the tranny on a friggin' BMW. Like, just because they're on a car, it doesn't mean that he knows. Like, some people know, like, if you fix the brakes, it doesn't mean you know how to fix the tranny. Like, they're 2 completely different parts of the car. And I think that's what applies here with Matt Patricia and the Patriots. And a last thought on that, Matt Patricia has been like the piñata, the punching bag, the scapegoat, the bearded butt of all jokes in football, not just in Patriots Nation, but all football the last couple of weeks. It's almost kind of not fair because Belichick offered him the job. And my colleague on the Six Rings podcast, Andy Hart, said, honestly, Patricia should have turned it down and said, I need to actually make myself, I'm not ready for this. Let me learn how to try to do it better, as opposed to like, oh, sure, I can do it. Oh. Belichick deserves, like he said, if something goes wrong, come to me. Well, Bill, you invited all that smoke. You said, point the slings and arrows of an angry Patriots Nation at me. That's why I think like he's feeling the heat these days, and some of his pressers have been a little out of character of late.
Are you in favor of Belichick stepping in and asking Bill Belichick, hey, what's going on? Like, do we need to make a change? Are you in favor of that?
Vlad, I'm in favor of the Patriots working with my friends at Zudi, the app development company, to develop an app that all the fans can download onto their phones. And then on the Jumbotron, after every play, it says, which play would you like to see the Patriots run? A, pass, B, run, or C, submit your own answer. I'd let the fans call plays before I'd have Matt Patricia call more plays. You shitting me? I'd literally rather people would be like, you know what would work here? Trips right, L7, Spider Y banana. Like, give it a shot. Like, they do it in there's the Fans Choice Football League where fans can sit in the stands and call plays. How could it get worse?
I mean, this stuff has been going on since the summer. We've been talking about this since training camp started. Reporters talking about how bad this would be. Who's the play caller, and it's like, Bill, we've been talking about this shit for months now. Is it kind of like a spit in our face that Bill Belichick just disregards everything that's going on, and just goes with what I guess is best for the team? Because, that doesn't seem like it's best for the team.
Yeah, how is what's going on right now, what's in the best interest of the football club? Now,
I don't understand it.
He'll tell you there was right? He's going to tell you that at a certain point he thought what has transpired and what's going on with the team now was in the best interest of the football club, because I guess he thought having a bunch of football minds with a lot of experience and mileage on them, like Joe Judge, Matt Patricia, et cetera, in the room would be good. Now he's closed ranks a little bit, and now he's got a much smaller coaching circle of friends that, people he calls friends that he's coached with, kids who have the same last name as him, and former players. And that makes the Belichick coaching circle now. It is much, much, much smaller than it's ever been. The coaching talent drain that the New England Patriots have undergone with coaching assistants on the defensive and offensive side of the ball, legends like Dante Scarnecchia, the human algorithm, the satellite in the sky that was Ernie Adams, who I think people don't give enough credit for all the little details that he brought to the team in preparation and on game day and beyond, has been significant. And Bill, the master of the do your job mantra, has basically turned that in do your job into do your jobs. And he's taken on too much. He's asking Patricia, who has only been an offensive line assistant for 1 year, almost 2 decades ago. And we can all probably point back to a job we all had 2 decades ago and say like, well, I've got experience doing it. Does that qualify me for something in the year 2022? The answer, spoiler alert, no.
No.
Yeah. So now Matt Patricia was an offensive line assistant for 1 year. And now he gets promoted to offensive line coach and play caller, each of which is a significant, if not daunting task week in and week out in the National Football League. Now this man is doing both of those tasks as well. Joe Judge has never been a quarterback's coach. Now he's doing that with a second-year kid who's feisty, who has attitude, who's tenacious, and is known for pushing back on things because he's very curious and he's a smart dude. And he's been nothing but successful from Pop Warner all the way to the national championship to his rookie year in the NFL where he went to the playoffs. They're all very curious, like dubious, dare I say, choices made by Bill Belichick. And I don't know if it's just because he doesn't want to work with a bunch of other people, if he doesn't feel like new input or new ideas, or if he's just, I'm not going to be someone in the camp of like, Belichick's lost his marbles. He's 70 years old. He's going crazy. Someone needs to shake the Mad King from the castle. He's gone bonkers. I don't think it's that bad, but I think this is kind of blowing up in his face a little bit. And Pats have 5 games to try to still at this point, believe it or not, they have 5 games to still actually figure it out and make a stretch run for the playoffs because like they're still in it, which is nuts to think.
I mean, it is nuts that they're still in it because the Jets and Dolphins lost this weekend,
And the Chargers.
And the Chargers lost, so keeping that door open for us, I mean, where do we go from here? Because you've seen how frustrated. I mean, I've never seen players come out and talk about how, things need to change or, Kendrick Bourne comes up. Is Kendrick Bourne going to play this weekend? Because he came out and said some stuff, and I'm like, man, you're probably not going to see the field for the rest of the year.
It's jarring to say the least. I mean, look, Barry was so sad a minute ago. He had to turn his camera off just to shed a tear. I mean, it was,
wipe his eye.
Yeah, just like I told Fitzy he wouldn't see me crying this episode. I'm so sad. I'm a Pats fan. I'm used to a different standard of living. Come on, Fitz. Yeah, man. Like I don't know. That's a good question. It's almost like a good poll question or a good something worth betting on, because if you think about it, people never really spoke out like that against the play calling, the coaching structure, the hierarchy, Bill Belichick. But to have like Mac Jones be seen lobbing multiple F-bombs towards the coaches on the sidelines in slow-mo on national TV, have Kendrick Bourne saying we need a better scheme, we need to do better on third down, we're getting our asses handed to us out there. Like,
we didn't know what's going on.
Yeah, they don't even know what's going on. But this all traces back to, like, remember the Bears game? And that's where it seems like everything really started getting undone, the Bears game. Because that's when they put in Zappy, and then people were in the huddle, and they were like, hey, man, oh, what's up, Bailey? All right, I guess you're in a quarterback. Ready, break. Like, the communication was so poor, they weren't even made aware that Zappy could come in and that Zappy was going to get some snaps that night. And I still don't believe that Bill's plan was to play Mac and play Zappy both. I think they thought they could win with. I think they thought they could beat them easily with Zappy, and then they thought they also could do the same with Mac, even on a bum wheel. They'd put him in, everything would go fine. The Bears brought their A+++ game that night. Also, the Patriots awoken the beast that was Justin Fields, because he's been on a heater ever since.
Ever since.
Yeah. Mac, things go poorly. Zappy comes in. Like, that was like kind of embarrassing for fans and for the team and for the coaches as well. And it seems like, isn't it weird? Do you guys feel like it's weird that all of the things that the Patriots always did better, like, we used to always pound our chest on things like chess over checkers, baby, or like up in New England, we do it better than anybody else. These little things like running into a kicker, getting called like false starts on the punt team, holding to kill drives, the fumbles, the interceptions, all these little things that the Patriots have done that we consider like anti-Patriot or anti-Belichickian have all been done this year. And it's, it's just so odd. Sometimes you're just sort of like, gone are the days where we have to like adjust the rabbit ears on the TV. Like, am I watching the right game? Like, what the frig is going on? Like it's now we all get digital 4K and super high def pictures, and we're all seeing the same thing perfectly clear. The Patriots make mistakes, and for players to openly, John, I'll say, like, maybe short of like risking insurrection, but like it sounds almost like there's mutiny in the locker room. And that's why I think Troy Brown came out today at the media availability for some of the coordinators and said, like, everyone's got to get on the same page. Like, we all need to stop bitching and just run the plays that are called, do our job better, and win or lose at a team. And that's coming from like the original glue guy. Like, if Troy Brown, who is a pillar upon which the Patriot way was built and is the ultimate selfless team player, comes out and says, quit your bitching, shut your mouth, and do your job, then everyone needs to quit their bitch and shut their mouth and do their job.
Absolutely. They sure do. And it's like, damn, like, well, what does this come to? Like, what kind of football are we watching, here, where this is just a hot mess? Like, they can't, execute anything, like not even simple plays, and move the ball down the field. And it's got me thinking, guys, and I wanted to ask you, and you guys can feel free to chime in. Is this a lost and wasted season? Like, is the season already like over? Like, is this team done? Because, to me, much like to say, they look just about done. Like, you can stick a fork in them and, and pretty much call it a season. Like, I don't see how this thing can get better and how it's fixable and how they can right the ship and be able to win games with some of these, teams that they're going to be playing against. So it just got me wondering, like, damn, like, this is a nightmare and just flat out disaster, like huge disaster.
Well, I think we still have a playoff chance. I don't think we're gonna do anything in the playoff if we even make it, but I still think because the teams are losing, like we said, the Jets lost, the Dolphins lost, and the Chargers lost. Those are giving us chances to make the playoff. But as a team, I just don't think we are there at all to like even make the play. Like, we're not a team that deserve to make the playoff. And even if we do make the playoff, it will be a one out and a pretty bad loss. Yeah, one and done. So,
could it get worse than last year or last January, the Pats getting their doors blown off, and that's putting it kindly, up in Buffalo? Like, that was the pinnacle of embarrassment. And everything that flies in the face of what the Patriots are and have been for as long as you guys can remember watching. I don't think it's a lost season yet because they have 5 games left. And not just because they could make the playoffs, but because they could turn this around and potentially find a way to bring the best with the players they have out of this offense, and maybe try to reverse or undo some of the damage they've done to Mac Jones. Not the shield or the logo or the season or the reputation or the franchise, start with the most important thing on the team, which is growing Mac Jones into a franchise quarterback. Like if that to me, I don't know what you guys had as like priority or goal number one going into the season. For me, it was continue to grow Mac Jones and make sure you got a franchise quarterback. And I sure as hell haven't seen that yet. And in large part because of the play calling and the personnel they've surrounded him with. And it goes, I thought the draft was good, but you trade away a guard who's playing at a Pro Bowl level in Shaq Mason for a 5th-round draft pick, and then you spend the precious equity of a 1st-round draft pick on another guard who's had a very up-and-down rookie season. Again, back to the decisions, Bills. Like, the phrase I was using in the spring was obtusely Belichickian. Like, Bill keeps doing these things that are just making you go like, I don't know. Why did you do that? I don't know why you did that, Bill. Okay, I'm just going to keep rooting. Okay. It's just so maddening at times. So if over the next 5 games, they don't make mistakes, like Troy Brown said, they shut their mouths, do their job, and play their asses off. They score some points. I don't have as much issue with the defense. I see some players on the defense, some things on the defense that are trending in the right direction. It's not John Jones's fault that he was a slot corner who got put on the outside, and they were like, here's your matchup on Thursday night, our 3rd game in 12 days. Steph Diggs, one of the 4 best receivers in football. Like, I mean, damn, man, that's hard work trying to cover that guy all night long with Josh Allen throwing lasers from back there. Like, so they get a chance to turn it around, guys, I think, but it's a tall task.
Oh, yeah.
Tall order.
Got that right. Yeah, no, it sure is a very, very, very tall task. And I don't know, I'm trying to convince myself like there's a way, but the more that I try to do that, it's, kind of just makes me think that, yeah, maybe this just isn't, this season, this just isn't the end. There's just too many problems and issues that's going on with this team that, at least this coaching staff can't fix or can't be able to at least be able to work around it. Another question wanted to ask you, and I know I'm starting to think this, but you think that Bill Belichick is just as good of a coach as he was with Brady? Because now I'm starting to think maybe he's not as good as we thought.
Oh, man, not that one.
Oh, God.
I don't know, man. Like you just said, he's making some dumb, boneheaded, idiotic, stupid decisions.
We'll make that one the last question.
And I'm like, yo, it's getting to the point where I'm like, yo, they made
great. So I get to finish this and go watch Brady on Monday Night Football.
Yeah. We'll make that one the last question.
I have one more after that. One more.
No. We can
Okay.
we'll keep chatting. I'm just busting footballs, but I think here's what we've seen, Barry. Here, I don't care. I've embraced this debate and I've come around on it a little bit. At first, I think when COVID first hit, the world got shut down and Brady left. I think I was I had so many things going on in my mind and wasn't even prepared for the reality of it that I kind of just fought back against it and tried to ignore it for a while. And I was bitter. And then last season, I started to soften on it a little bit. Like, he's happy. He and Gronk are having fun. My kids want to watch him in Tampa. Secretly, I was still rooting for him, even though I was bitter that he left and I was mad at the organization. But I love them, and they're my favorite team, and I've always watched and rooted for them. And now I've come to the acceptance of they never should have let him go. They should have done everything on earth to keep him in the building. Because when you ask a question like, do you think Belichick is as good a coach as he was when Brady was here? The answer is yes. Here's the problem, or here's the caveat or disclaimer to that.
Yes, Barry.
Yeah. He's as good a coach, but
what are y'all seeing?
No, but here's the problem. The problem is, I mean, he's made mistakes organizationally, closing ranks, making draft picks, et cetera, like letting Tom Brady, of all people, go. The difference is you're seeing how important Tom Brady was all those years on the Patriots. Tom Brady, you can pick your favorite sort of like household item, whether you have a favorite something, like if you cook something and it's like, oh man, this doesn't have any flavor. Oh, at least I have like this particular spice rub that I can pour on it, or your favorite hot sauce or ketchup. If you want to talk about just having like whiteout or something that'll help you fix something on a document, or a magic eraser, the Mr. Clean pen. I like to always say like Brady was Flex Seal, like that glue or that crazy tape that like when you pop a hole in the boat, like you can just pop a piece of Tom Brady on there. He undid all the issues, the mistakes, stuff they glossed over. Like Belichick could come up with a master, brilliant plan, but if Brady didn't have input and Brady didn't get out there and make some of those ridiculous throws, organize those drives, rally people to the heights that he did, then how good was Bill Belichick? And he'll be the first one to tell you as well. He's only as good as his players. So that, if anything, is an indictment of the quality of the players that they have on the team now. And they sure as hell, on both sides of the ball, don't have anyone even close to as great as Tom Brady.
Right, and whose fault is that? Because the same guy that's the coach is the GM. So we got to hold somebody accountable here.
And whose fault is it?
It's unacceptable for a Bill Belichick team to be playing the way they're playing.
Right.
And the product they're putting out on the field and what you had to see on that Thursday night, and you in the building.
Barry,
it's just inexcusable.
Whose fault is it that Brady's team is like under 500 right now?
Well, that's this year, John. That's this year.
It's all Brady, isn't it?
But I think this year
other problems that are going on with the Bucks other than
Come on, man.
Brady.
I think if anything this year, above all, we have realized how much Brady and Belichick need each other. I mean, it also, guys, if you want to think about it, like take a look at what's going on with Brady. What's the biggest issue on that Tampa team, aside from the fact that their coach stinks? And Jets fans were telling me, like, your boy Brady's not going to like it down in Tampa too much. Bowles is a good defensive coordinator, but he's a lousy head coach. And he always just looks like a statue. Like, he looks like somebody just robbed him of all of his emotions, or just, like, frozen. He's
right, just standing there with his hands folded all the time, right.
Biggest issue in Tampa, offensive line. Their offensive line stinks. They lost their center for the season in the preseason. One starting guard retired. The other starting guard went to Cincinnati on a free agent deal. And their big tackle from 2 years ago in the draft has been hurt the majority of the season. Aside from that, yeah, everything should be hunky-dory, but it's not. It's just not. Oh, and he's been going through a divorce, and, he's just, this whole thing has cost him everything. But they've had a disastrous season. He can still sling it. Brady can still throw the ball. I'll tell you right now, if I had to choose between Tom Brady and Mac Jones tonight for the Arizona game for the rest of the season, and for next season, no brainer.
Well, I got one follow up. This is the last question, and then we can let you go. And I think this is a perfect follow up to this conversation. Mm-hmm. There's rumors out there that Brady might come back next year. How does that make you feel? Fitz.
There you go.
Come back, baby. Come back to Papa. Come home, Tom. Tom, we miss you. Come back. I miss you so much, Tom. I never wanted you to leave. Tom. Please, Tom. You screwed with us once and you left us. Don't screw with us again, you beautiful dimple chin 6 Super Bowl winning. Well, we don't count the 7th one, son of a bitch. Are you kidding me, man? I would. And I don't want Mac Jones or anyone else, not that they would hear this necessarily. Maybe you guys got a pipeline. I don't know. I wouldn't want anyone that listens to think that I'm an emotional front runner, that I want to live in the past, and that, like, I can't let go of what was so great, because I was prepared to, like, not let go of it, but just put it where it was, compartmentalize it, leave it in the rear view mirror of life, and just be like, hey, man, that was awesome what we did. I named a kid after Tom Brady. I got to go to a Super Bowl. My love of Brady led me to start a video series, which led me to get some work, which led me to the radio, which led me to riding a duck boat. It's what led me here. All of it. Like, it's so unbelievable what we were all treated to for as long as we were. And now to think that the team is in turnaround and there's a chance he might be able to get to just even he's even remotely interested, according to reports, in maybe coming back and playing the part of savior, like, you know, hit the reset button, be like, Mac, sorry, we did you dirty. We're going to trade you someplace that's going to build you up, give you a shot somewhere, and, you know, bring Brady home for a season or two, like straight up, like real talk. Anyone that all of us would lose our shit. Like my mind would my skull would open up and my mind would hop out, get on the floor and start breakdancing if I thought for a second Tom Brady was coming back for a season or two. I wouldn't even know what the word was. I would scream. I would why not? I mean, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Yes, I would.
Same here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, Fitzy, man, we gotta let you go. It's about that time for you to get out of here. But you know, as always, we appreciate you coming on, man. We appreciate your insight, and you know, keep the comedy coming, man. We're following you on the gram and seeing, you know, the weekly material you got for us. So thanks again for coming on.
It's an absolute pleasure, you guys. At Fitzy GFY on the TikTok and the gram and on the tweet machine and all that. I still do the post-game show on WEEI, so immediately after every game, if you need a Patriots vent line or someplace to celebrate, we always say, like, whether we commiserate or we celebrate, we do it together. So Six Rings post-game show on WEEI and the Six Rings podcast a couple times a week. Thing is, above all, I'm not, you know, I know everyone's favorite ship to ride was getting on the ship, right? Everyone wants to ride the championship. Well, right now, we're on a completely different ship right now. We're on a sad boat that sprung a leak, and the guy it's feeling Titanic-ish at this point right now. And Matt Patricia's the one who's like, "What iceberg? What are you talking about?" They'll turn it around eventually, and like we can let the casuals, the temporaries, the pink hats, and everyone else jump off, because it'll be that much sweeter whenever we get back to where we were before.
Yes, sir.
Hope so, Fitzy. I hope so.
Have a good night, Fitzy.
All right, guys.
I appreciate you.
Keep up the great work. Thanks for having me aboard. All right. Happy holidays. Go Pats.
Go Pats.
Go Pats,
Go
Fitzy.
Pats.
You have a good night. You're always
Yeah, you guys
welcome to come back anytime.
You guys, thanks so much.
No
See ya.
problem. Take care. Happy holidays. Woo.
Yes, sir. That was entertaining, to say the least.
That was awesome.
You know, so make sure you guys are following Fitzy. Like you said, it's Fitzy GFY. That's on everything: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. You know, the guy, he's Patriots super fan, and obviously he's made a career, man. WEI, post-game show, all that stuff. You got great content, and make sure you guys are following our platforms as well. We're at ProFanSports on everything except for Instagram, and that's at ProFans_sports. Make sure you're subscribing, commenting, liking to the YouTube. You know, if you're not subscribed, man, make sure you're subscribing right now. You know, push that subscribe button. It's free. It's the best way to support. So until next episode, man. Fitzy, thanks again. We'll catch y'all next week.
Have a good week, everyone. See y'all next week. Thanks for watching.
You